Okay, we're back. We're rocking and rolling. I changed the output for it because I guess my computer cannot handle it. But either way, very interesting to see what collections are going out of their way to highlight different creators within the space, because I think it helps massively with that. Paunch here highlighting the Golden Wolf X Doodles team. This was an animation studio that was working together to work on the Dullsville and the Doodlesverse. I'm sorry, I might have said that wrong, because Doodles actually I think acquired the Golden Wolf team, who's a very big studio. But here's kind of a quick 19-second clip from that.
To be honest, but maybe I'll build some muscle after a few weeks. Oh yeah. Oh.
You're stuck, Sophia.
What?
You will never leave deliveries. You will build muscle and carry the barrels well, or be drained in the pumper mill.
Radio barrels, to be honest.
All right, so there's a little bit of a vibe check on that. I'm a little surprised it's not something a little bit more like happy-go-lucky per se. It seemed very, basic line skip for that, but still excited to see. And again, if you look at the doodles, those things are priced like this is going to be popularo. Reddit getting a new bid for their Ethereum name, reddit.eth, 76,000 American dollars. Again, listen, what if the .root names are up there? We got nba.root. Maybe you should go out there and try to get reddit.root if somebody else hasn't. 20 ETH. Holy smokes. Okay, so the post is gone, but Hulk Hogan was out on the timeline shilling a meme coin today, as we've seen several celebrities as of recently get into it. And I'm going to try to share both sides of the perspective in a little bit of a different way here. And obviously, this is never good when there's a celebrity that gets into the space and then immediately rugs said token. But let's go over exactly what happened. So, post comes out. Hulk Hogan is saying, hey, we're doing a token. It could have been AI generated, not entirely sure. And my computer is dropping frames again. Oh my goodness. Hopefully we are okay on here. Yeah, I guess everybody in the timeline was showing that Hulk Hogan is here. And Hulk Hogan apparently, or whoever it was, sold $1 million worth of that token, went crashing. So you see here, WWE wrestler Hulk Hogan, Solana meme coin called Hulk, plummeted from 17 million to 2 million in just a few minutes after he deleted tweets about the coin. Talk about celebrities, the influence for that. But then Hulk Hogan is claiming on Facebook and Instagram that his posts from today are not from him. And so the question is, was it AI generated? Was it somebody that was getting him to film something? Maybe this was like a cameo. Was it actually him and he's trying to put the blame on somebody else? We have all these questions that we don't really know about. But he says, hello, family. Appreciate your love and support always. Please do not take notice of any posts posted today. They are not from me and will be promptly removed. Okay. And then there was another post that I was meaning to get into here. And hold on, there we go. There's one. We'll go with this one. There's a reason people call us LARPs. I'm so violently against a lot of the clout BS because it actively hurts us. I try to get intelligent people on my show, and they say no because nothing of value is said on Spaces. I speak out because this harms crypto, in my opinion. So I don't know what in the world happened, but I guess there was a whole bunch of people that are very active on Spaces, and they joined a space to not do anything and hope that Hulk Hogan joined it. I don't know. This space is a little strange. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, the flip side to this, and there's a post somewhere in here, and I'll show you guys kind of how this looks like. So typically, this is how it is, but I crop it a wee little bit so you guys are able to see what's going on a little bit better. But the post was talking about how people should be able to monetize themselves, and it's really showcasing, when marketing, hello, how there is the massive removal of the middleman, and seeing how people, just their likeness can be like, hey, we're doing a token. Obviously, people are, degenning, trying to make money off of it, whatever. But it is very interesting to see when these people create something and seeing what the traction is, just because you've done something that people love. Going back to the brand conversation the other day, it's all about branding, attention, etc., etc. What's my hat say? Oh, it's other page. So it's one of the, oh my goodness, where is the full camera? There we go. It's one of the pages that Yuga, I don't know if they're necessarily partnered with, but they're building out kind of a player profile page where you're able to flex all the things within the Yugaverse of what you can do. And so they sent me out some merch, and it's actually pretty banging, to be honest. A bit odd to see NBA Top Shot dropping an anthology set no one asked for the day of the NBA Finals. Shouldn't the focus be on the finals and the end of the playoffs? Feels cash grabby to me. Would massively agree, but this is also kind of the absolute end of the NBA season, so everything probably takes a huge fall off after this. I feel that was something we saw in the earlier stages of NBA Top Shot, the off-season blues. So again, people are saying, "Oh, this is cash grab, yada yada yada." I mean, again, it's just the end of the season for it. Is little strange that they're not focusing on it. And Bill Green, what's going on? Go Celtics. Listen, I got Celtics.root for you. Got Mavericks.root. If things go bad, you can hold that over somebody. You let me know. We can have a discount. NBA Finals. Celtics.root going up a little bit. Mavericks going down a little bit just because, things aren't looking too great for them. But hey, we'll see. We'll see. All right. This is crazy. The Sandbox has raised $20 million at a $1 billion valuation as it looks to enhance its user-generated multiplayer gaming platform. I do not understand at all what is going on with Sandbox, because if we go back a few years ago, when they just did land sales, they could get 20 million for nothing. So the fact that they raised instead of offering more land sales actually feels kind of bullish in a way that they're not diluting their holders for. And again, the question of like digital supply and demand, all that kind of jazz, right? Like, how many of these ecosystems are going to continue to print land? Is the land that's out the only one that's going to be added for it? I felt like Sandbox, we didn't really know how that was. And again, I'm not super clicked into that, but for like the other side, for example, when it launched, we immediately had that map. And we kind of knew, okay, like that's going to be the limit for it. For Futureverse, I feel like there can arguably be some questions because it's like, okay, so we have the boroughs, we have the Third Kingdom land. For the Third Kingdom land, they had some extra drops of other land that we didn't know when that was fully done. What's the scope of that? That actually might be a good question for 30 minutes max, knowing kind of like what the land sizes are and if that's going to change at all through anything. But I mean, Sandbox previously had a ton they were working with. Celtics had a great first half. True. And when marketing RNS loves you, yeah, I'll appreciate it. So Arcade is doing this thing with Fluff World where you're able to get their X ARC token. The only thing that I'm not really a huge fan of is they're saying like all fluffs equal 100 of the token per unique wallet. People keep everything just like in 1, 2, maybe 3 wallets. So at max, you're getting like 300 of the token. Same with the Party Bears. Atom Pass Seekers, all this stuff is like per wallet. I feel like we're in 2024. We can do a little bit better when it comes to allocating properly for anybody that are whales or not. Because again, for like $100 of a token, I'll probably be like, I don't know. But if I got a whole bunch of it, then maybe I'd kind of be jumping in there. But speaking of Futureverse, some of the happenings with Cool Cats, if you guys haven't seen, they gave for the top 2,500 cool score. Cool Cat owners some Third Kingdom land, and now they're starting to show some footage of these islands. Again, these are all kind of base looks, nothing too crazy, but it does graphically, I think, look very, very impressive, and that's all that matters because that's people's, first impressions of things, and I think that looks sweet. Talking about Magic Eden, some of the diamonds here, we got NFT Ollie. Yo, where's them Tolly? At everyone, over the past couple of months, we've been flagging and suppressing diamonds on wallets that have clearly been doing inorganic volume. Again, talking about the NFT marketplace, Magic Eden, and their reward program, the diamonds. As I mentioned before, we are taking this very seriously and will not tolerate this type of activity. Today, we removed 11 million diamonds from the system due to inorganic volume. We'll be wiping all diamonds from this account that are clearly abusive. For our normal organic users, they have nothing to worry about. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Guys, this is the welcoming kit from the Pokemon Go North American competition. I wish every Web3 game did something like this, even if it was digital, couple of collectibles or something that was a part of being a part of, like as an example, like Fluff World with the Poker Night, they might end up doing POTAs. I know that for Yuga Labs, there's a lot of POTAs and that kind of stuff. I think those are sweet. And I'm surprised that it's not done in a more often kind of circumstance, if you will. Although I get that it does cost having to get like an artist to do these cool assets and whatnot. Okay, so I want to talk about branding right quick. So here's some Pokemon drinks. Might be like, okay, Mewtwo, Pikachu, Snorlax. I know these characters. Looks cool. Maybe I'd buy a drink. And I was thinking, this is happening in NFTs too. And here's just some branded Bored Apes. And so do you feel like any kind of attachment to it? Again, if you're a fan of Yuga Labs, Bored Apes, you might. I mean, even if you're not like quote unquote a fan, you still might be like, okay, like I recognize that. And if I was in a shop, I know that's Web3 related. So I would buy that drink versus something that I'm not familiar with. Just food for thought. More happenings here from Futureverse. Open is developed in the powerful Unreal Engine 5, known for its incredible graphics. UE5 is one of the most advanced real-time 3D creation tools for bringing immersive games to life. Listen, this is looking decent. Decent. High quality. This is what we're waiting for. I've been saying this forever. All the stuff within Web3 kind of looks the same. We get the hyper quality that we know is real. You can sing the opening for Lion King. That's basically what we're going to be having. Hopefully they got a partnership with Lion King, and that's how Open opens up with this scene right here. And if for whatever reason there is a Lion King partnership and I nailed it right here, remember, we got it on XFeed first. True. Luca Nets here. Every crypto founder team should be wearing NFT PFPs from some ecosystem. Infiltrate, galvanize, and embrace the culture. You won't be able to spend marketing dollars any better place. I kind of get what he's saying here, I think, but I guess the question is, like, are you saying because the founders are going to get more recognition and people are familiar with the brands, or you're saying they should like put themselves out there and create like a brand around a certain collection within their ecosystem? Kind of interesting. But if you're wanting to hear more from Luca, I do have a podcast that I've been doing and actually going to interview Luca, and I think it's one of the best pieces I've done in terms of like interviewing and just what's the right word? The value I think I got from doing that interview was one of the top ones I think that I've ever done. If you guys wanted to check that out, in the YouTube description of this video or in the tab on X under my profile. I'm kind of glad I saw Luca's tweet, but I low-key wanted to change my PFP to my human face for a bit. Yeah, it's weird because you think about it and then you're like, okay, every single person in Web3 is rocking an NFT of some sort. Something to be said about that, right? Puma here. I guess they're partnering up with Nifty Island. Super Puma is now live at Nifty Island, and we're hosting a quest. All Super Puma holders can now play at Nifty Island as the iconic Super Puma. Visit Puma Island and earn rewards. Nice. So kind of cool here with Guild of Guardians highlighting how they can make thousands of dollars a day in passive income with DeFi. I think this is one of the cool aspects of games where we have seen a lot of games take a decent amount of time, but not everybody has that. And for anybody that's on audio, here's a little graphic where it looks like they've made $43. I don't know how many days this has been. 51 rentals this week. Total fees, again, looking at like $1 and whatnot, but just going over it. They have these things, made $43. Some people play the NFTs. They don't have to do anything with it. And they make a little bit on the side from holding those NFTs. They end up going up. Again, it's kind of this big, massive circle. And so when we see NFT collections at a higher price, people are able to take loans, do stuff with other. I mean, the DeFi potential is insanity. It's absolutely insanity. Here's the tweet that I was meaning to bring up earlier with the Hulk Hogan thing. This is from Matt. Every person should have the ability to profit off their likeness. Fair launch. We are complaining about how others use decentralized tools. We may need a refocus. It is the ability to do good or bad that protects global freedoms. If we don't like it, we can opt out. And this is kind of talking about Iggy Azalea's coin in here, but again, agree. Think about the college athletes, the likeness of things, people profiting, etc., etc. Just learning that copyright literally means the right to make copies of something. I don't know why. That's kind of funny to me. This is also very interesting. So Tattoo World's one of the,
Why you
I
betting on my
believe
boy like that?
collections. Yo, Boomer,
GM Bud.
what's going on? The copyright tweet, crazy. How are you, sir? So this is what we saw before, where there was like NFT collections that were like, we're gonna put tattoos on your NFTs, and it, like, in theory, it sounded absolutely amazing, except for the fact they came out on these collections that were like their own, and nobody cared. Nobody cares. So I think the aspect of if they figured out a way to incorporate tattoos on other existing bodies of things, guys, listen, people, Web3 people, they be having a ton of tattoos out there. How many of you guys got tattoos out there? Now you can potentially put them on your NFTs. I think that aspect is going to be very interesting. Yo, and Blonde, good morning. And yo, Boomer, 100 bits, sir. Absolute freaking whale. Man's getting all that blast juice. And then Root Punks as well. This is coming up on the Tradeverse. Very interesting to see. It seems that they're not looking like too expensive at a price, looking at like $20 USD, which is amazing. This is the kind of thing that we like, just for the aspect of like it's inexpensive, right? When we have something that is inexpensive, that's all we like. That's all we like. Oh no. Oh no. Blonde's one of the bots that gets sent. Oh no, I can't take off my hat. My hair looks horrible. Holy jeez, I didn't realize how bad that was. Unbelievable. Who would want to tattoo themselves with an NFT like an ape? Gee. Okay, hold on. Yo, we gotta cover that one up quick. Holy jeez. But it's funny, right? Where we're at like a point where we've had all these things that we immediately fell in love with, and now we're taking like a step back and saying, okay, what about them do we love? How do we get the people that can set the tone, that create the vibes, that just set everything right? And to the point earlier that we were reading the tweet regarding like content creators, it's massive. And shout out to you, Boomer. Like, you've done a phenomenal job with highlighting Wolf Game, and I'm seeing like a whole bunch of people talk about you and credit you for posting what you do for that. But it's weird because every single ecosystem doesn't have that. You would think, okay, like, yeah, there's somebody actively doing content within it, and sometimes people do tweets, they do like a little bit of a breakdown, sometimes there's video and whatnot. But again, like the consistency within the space is definitely something that, unless it's kind of like a paid gig, you see there's a little bit of a fall off for that. You know what I mean? Like, there's the aspect that people are wanting to create incentivized models for others to jump in on, I think, are there. But as we saw with the gala, where there was that guy that was doing content for gala, and then they paid him, and then they were like, no, you're talking too much about like making $1 bajillion, so we're gonna like can the sponsorship. And then there was this huge blowout, and then I don't know, really, you know what I mean? Like, it's a massive double-edged sword within the space whenever you're trying to do something cool. But the fact that we're here and we're vibing, and I'm just, listen, I'm looking down, but we're looking at the first edition Pokemon cards. I've been going through these, and I have some newer ones and some older ones. And I'm telling you, that first edition older look with that little first edition in the corner, it absolutely hits different. We're here for the art. And I still absolutely hate doing the trades offline. But it's funny that people that are like messaging you and saying different things, and you're like, hey, yeah, I'll take that card. You want to do a deal? Sometimes you can get something like 75% off. Sometimes you can immediately tell that something's fishy. You don't know if it's fully authenticated. What if you get scammed? I love the aspect of what the bullshit, the blockchain is going to bring. I was going to say the BS is going to bring, but that doesn't make any sense. I thought those were tarot cards for a second. No, definitely not tarot cards. But if you're into that kind of thing, that is interesting and cool. And I love that you are into whatever that you love. That's right. True. Okay, final things. Let's check this out, because we've done this, I think, about once every week. So looking up crypto and NFTs within the headlines, always a dangerous thing. Always a dangerous thing. Again, if you haven't seen, when you type in NFTs, Bored Apes come up as the first thing, and people have highlighted that. But we go to news. What do we got here? Bybit Web3 revs up for season 2 of Velocity series NFTs with renowned data artist Kajetal Golids. Okay, I don't really care about that personally. Ordinals and rune statistics. Okay, a little bit random. That's not a massive headline, but we're going into statistics. Nice. Decrypt. Let's push boundaries. NFC Summit takes in awards. AI and post-human moderate. These headlines are horrible today. What is going on? Exclusive. 57.8% of market participants prefer Bitcoin NFTs over Ethereum's. That's a spicy headline. Is that true? Do we actually believe that? Well, so here's the problem with the bias, right? Is like, I've always been into like ETH NFTs. very minorly dabbled in the Bitcoin NFTs. So, I mean, I would say that I would prefer Ethereum NFTs, but I use the Magic Eden wallet. The Magic Eden wallet's freaking, like, it's really good. It's really good, to be honest. And excited to see what else they do with it. But if there's actually a big subset of people that have been interviewed and 57.8 prefer Bitcoin NFTs, those feel undervalued, respectfully. U.S. Treasury report outlines potential financial risk of NFTs. Okay, that's fantastic. U.S. Treasury describes NFTs as highly susceptible to use in frauds and scams. Well, I mean, this is the problem. Is we're still waiting for the utility, the extra aspects, the breakdown of things. Obviously, there's ones that are just in it for the art. Again, listen, we love the art. This is a Zubat, and the idea with most of these NFTs is they're going to be used for something more. And that's the part where it goes into, okay, how long does it actually take to build something significant? Okay, over on the crypto side, when we go and check out news, he taught at MIT, worked at Morgan Stanley, and convinced Bill Ackman and Galaxy to back his 200 million crypto something. It's too big of a headline. They used fancy, we got an MIT, Morgan Stanley. They're trying to hit the algorithm, respect the fortune, but yeah, okay. Make it so we can all see it in one little title here. U.S. crypto regulations are moving against a CBDC and non-compliant stablecoins like Tether. Lawyers say crypto king still hiding assets. I think this is a guy out of like Canada. Yeah, CTV News Kitchener. I think this is like a story on Netflix about the crypto king. Somebody mentioned that to me once, and like, the story of the crypto king. It's funny whenever like I go to like a family ordeal and they're like, yeah, Steve does like online stuff, and it's always an interesting conversation about trying to explain that. Robinhood bets big on crypto with $20 million deal for Bitstamp. It's inevitable. Ripple CEO issues critical XRP warning after Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF price boom. It's funny how ETH and BTC get a ETF, and now everybody's like, we're getting a whole bunch of ETFs. Guys, just an FYI, in Canada, we had like Bitcoin and ETH NFTs like 2-3 years ago. Unbelievable, I know. The Great White North. Crypto exchange Kraken is in talks for pre-IPO fund raising round. Best crypto to buy right now, 6 different expert picks. Those are always kind of a little bit biased, but go down from there. Yo, JW, if someone wanted to transfer money for something legal, they can just buy that person's NFT for you. True. That's a very good point, where we have seen a lot of wash trading. Something that was brought up every once in a while is the massive sales from the likes of like Logan Paul and Steve Aoki. There was a really long thread. Sorry, it wasn't too long, but I want to jump over, and I skipped this because I didn't think we were going to have time for it, and I wanted to try to get it all within, but I'll go back and try to get it. And we have seen like a lot of fishy ones, and I mean, to that diamonds reward on Magic Eden, that was the same thing where people were doing the wash trading to try to like accumulate points. They were like, no, we realize that you guys are doing that, so they're able to take a stance themselves. Okay, here, I got the tweet. I got the tweet. This is Steve Aoki. He made over $1 million flipping NFTs. He then got called a grifter and lost $2.6 million in a single year. Here's the untold story of the worst celebrity trader of all time and how to avoid his mistakes. And he's rocking a doodles at a concert back when they were probably like 15 ETH. Steve is a well-known DJ, but despite all of his musical success, he said, I made more money from NFTs than from music royalties. Remember the narrative that was going around at the time. Well, there are a few things that go with this. He bought his first NFT in 2021. It was a CryptoPunk for 65 ETH. Less than a month later, he sold it for 235 ETH, around $1 million at the time. And this was the collection. And just as a moment of thought, if you're a younger person, and it doesn't even matter if you're younger, if you're anybody and you buy an asset, and obviously 65 ETH is a lot, but for a lot of people that got into the NFT space, bought a Top Shot pack, maybe a Bored Ape on Mint, some crazy thing happened where they went insane in value. And it is a massive shock when the first time you do something within the space and you hit huge. Now, if you're somebody that happens to own a house that's gone massively up in value, okay, that's kind of like the same thing. If you're like, wow, this is amazing and great. With these NFTs, again, it's a little bit easier, right? Like when a house, you gotta go through different things to be able to get into it. If you purchased a car, I mean, hell, even if you got into like some sports cards, some of those ended up going crazy. I think it was like the Patrick Mahomes at a point, and it really takes you for a whirl, and you get like totally ingrained. So the fact that Steve Aoki hit on that CryptoPunk immediately, the man got hella addicted. Steve got really excited about the future of NFTs, so he started acquiring rare pieces. He became a collector, and that is where he made his first mistake. In the video above, Steve talks about not caring about the flip and buying for the long term, and there is nothing wrong with this if you buy the right things like art, but Steve went all in on PFP NFTs. This post includes a word you muted. I don't even want to open this because what was it? Portal Coin? Might have been Portal Coin that I muted. Imagine that. Steve was ready for the next step, becoming a founder. He launched his own collection and quickly made 4.3 million. Holy jeez. And again, this is going back to the aspect of Hulk Hogan and these other celebrities launching coins because they're like, hey, people are, obviously his first CryptoPunk flip wasn't, somebody didn't buy that because Steve owned it by any means, but it was, hey, like there's a lot of people that are in this space. This is an emerging market. Let's get into it. He then invested in and co-founded an NFT TCG game, MetaZoo, which is the, I think, Logan Paul one, maybe, which at one point became the top 10 on the sealed TCG product chart. Steve even got a tattoo, the ultimate top signal, and then something happened. No, MetaZoo wasn't Logan Paul. I don't think so. There we go. Hey, listen, tattoos earlier, tattoos now. You guessed it, bear market. Most of Steve's bags went down 90%, and his collection followed. MetaZoo shut down with all that Steve's conviction started fading. He began selling his bags. Remember that Oni he got for 164 ETH. Again, JW, what you were saying, insane that like an Oni Force was not, like Oni stands for Oni Force. And those collections, like there was no reason for those to go over like 100 ETH. So 164, insane. They sold all 11 NFTs for just 5.8 ETH, and the same fate befell most of his collections. Steve is spinning tracks again, and his NFT game has cooled off. He hasn't bought one in over a year. Will he dive back in if a new NFT bull starts? Only time will tell, and that's where we'll end off. But yes, we've seen a whole bunch of people jumping back into the space once they feel safer with things. And again, it goes back to, people were experimenting in the earlier days. A lot of the technology wasn't ready. Some are saying the technology still isn't ready because there's not those big mass markets or the things that we're wanting to see, but there's always progress being made. We're going to be covering it just as we typically do. Appreciate you guys coming on through. When Marketing, JW, Monsieur Boomer, the one and only, and Bill Green. Appreciate you coming through. Stan, of course, Porzing God. Enjoy the second half of the